I'm battling demons. Some shit that you never seen, you don't want to see it either. Step pops woman beater. Mom's tripping, she don't want to leave him, so she drinking liquor by the liter.
House calls any longer?
Yes, we do. It's myself, another physician, and we have 5 mid-level PAs or nurse practitioners that are board certified, and they make house calls also.
We're looking at you make a house call right now, and this woman looks so very happy. Look at you, all the love there. How does this
Recently
work?
forgive him. Want to tell you what I'm talking about? Me. I couldn't forgive me for being so stupid. Knowing it was set up.
So we're gonna dive right in, man, because it seemed like you ready to.
Huh?
I said we're gonna dive right in. It seemed like you ready to go.
Go? I ain't got nowhere to go.
Oh no, I'm saying you ready to.
Oh shit.
You was getting into it.
Like I said, I'm trying to clamp it down. I'm just gonna tell my truth, and I ain't gonna say nothing that's speculative or whatever. But I'm gonna tell you what happened to me, and I have had a lot of white attorneys told me that if they say if you would have been a white boy, then would have done nothing to you. It's like, who have you? You say you help more people than you hurt. You ain't hurt nobody. As a kid, I didn't hurt anyone. And you have doctors prescribing drugs, pedophiles, all kind of stuff, and they walk around practicing, doing stuff.
So I want to start at the beginning.
Okay.
Where not even with all the drama, but
Okay.
what made you want to be in the medical field just in general?
Okay. I wanted to be a physician. At first, I went to law school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to SMU Law School for 1 year, and I really didn't enjoy law. And I thought about what I really wanted to do, and it was be a doctor. But before then, I didn't think I was smart enough. But after spending that 1 year on the campus at SMU Law School, I decided I can do this. And so I just dropped out, told my dad. He thought I was going freaking crazy. He said, you can't get in med school. You don't even have a background in the sciences, which I did. But basically, I just went to the junior college, took my organic chemistry, biology, physics, took the MCAT, and I did exceptionally well on the MCAT. And I got in every med school I applied to, and I went to the one in Oklahoma. But I always wanted to do something, to help people. In the beginning, I thought I would be a social worker. Then I changed. I want to be a lawyer. Doing the Black Power stuff in the late '70s with I was in the Black Panthers. I just wanted to help. And to me, medicine, there was such a severe need for black physicians. I said, hey, I want to be a doctor. And so I just followed my passion.
And was there ever moments while you were practicing where it was conflicts what they were suggesting you to say to clients and what you actually wanted to say to clients?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can you give me an example?
Okay, one example. Initially I was an emergency room physician. Normally someone would come in with chest pains or something, and the hospital administration, they would always do what I call a wallet biopsy. You ain't got insurance or covered, and you weren't old where something would happen to you, they felt like that it wasn't a critical chest pain and you could go home. And the first thing they would always say, this is a VP at a hospital gonna call me and ask me, well, this guy don't have insurance. Do you think he needs to be admitted? I said, if it was your father, what would you do? This guy's having mid-sternal chest pain. He's 65 years old. I'm not a fortune teller. I know he needs to be admitted and ruled out, but he don't have no insurance. I said, that's not my problem. He needs to be taken care of. And so basically, I would always win that because I'm not going to send anyone home if I felt like that they needed to be in the hospital. Even though the hospital didn't want them admitted because they were going to take a loss on it. My thing is you treat people like family. And the hospitals, their bottom line has always been money. Yeah. And back then, it was a thing. You could come in, they would want us to do an exam and send people home, and the person could say they saw a doctor. You know, they had a room set up. This is Methodist Hospital. They had a room set up. You see the patient, you triage them out the door, and all's well. You know, he might get a bill for $300 or $400 for seeing me, but you tell him it's okay, it's not an emergency, and you can go home. I mean, back then in the late 90s or the 2000s, they had that real bad. And then subsequently, tort reform came along. And with tort reform, it means that you can't sue a doctor unless another doctor said he committed negligence. And then there was a tort cap, which was like $250,000 on the patient. On the physician in the hospital. So if a patient came in, you did grievous thing to him, negligence, the most he gonna get is $500,000. Now, if you think you're gonna find an attorney to take that case without another physician saying it was gross negligence, you got another thing coming.
They're not even gonna look at it.
Oh no, they won't look at it. And so this was in 2006 when they changed when tort reform came to Texas. One of the reasons they did it was, I can understand, malpractice insurance was high. Doctors were not coming to Texas because it was so easy to sue. And after that, I saw a trend where doctors were doing things that they knew they shouldn't be doing because they knew they would not ever get sued. Because who's going to sue them? Not attorneys. You had all these medical malpractice attorneys dropping out like flies. When, you know, one day he's a medical malpractice attorney, the next day he might be doing real estate or something. That's how bad it was with those guys. And I've seen a lot of things, especially against our people.
And I'm glad that kind of like the perfect transition of what I was about to ask. Did you notice a difference of way that they treated people of melanin and lighter tone individuals?
Okay. Put it like, I'll give you a good example. If Becky Sue came in with menstrual pain, cramping, crying, she needs some pain, they would give her a Demerol shot, give her hydrocodone on top of the Demerol. If a sister come in with the same exact symptom, not me, but the other physician would give them something like Motrin, Tylenol, maybe a Toradol shot, which is nothing in compared to a narcotic for someone who's in excruciating pain. That's just one example. There's a difference, and I think that these white doctors were taught in medical school that black folks don't have pain.
The pain tolerance.
Yeah. I think they were told that. I think they were told that I was in med school. I went to class every day. I don't remember hearing this, but I could hear some of them talk when they, trying to train residents and interns, that maybe black people's skin is a little thicker and tougher, and they may not feel as much as they would. So don't give them all them hydrocodone. Give them a little, Tylenol number 3, or maybe Tylenol X or something, but not that heavy duty stuff. Oh yeah, it was sickening. That was one reason why I left the emergency room and started my own internal medicine practice, because I wanted to take care of my people on my own terms, in my own way, with a different type of delivery system.
And how does that transition work? Does that work like any other business where you have to build a clientele?
Oh yeah.
From the bottom.
Yeah. From the bottom, but I expanded so rapidly because there were not many physicians at that time seeing patients. Matter of fact, can you see that sign which says gas or no gas?
Mm-hmm.
That was that. I had those billboards in southern Dallas. I didn't have to worry about it because my people see a black man on a horse, home care physicians. I had more patients than I could handle. But it was a pretty easy transition. But the thing about it, I love doing it. I love being different, and I love taking care of my own people.
And so most of the people that you did seem they were.
And Southern sector, I saw anyone that called, wanted an appointment, either me or I had like 6 nurse practitioners that I supervised and another physician I supervised. One of us saw them, but we mainly concentrated in minority people of color.
Okay, so fast forward, because we talked a little bit off camera, and you said that this is all over $500. The situation that we're in right now.
Yes.
So, how did we get to that point to where you were even taking that risk of going under the table to, even if it was just to help a friend? Like, what made you comfortable enough to even do that part?
Because it was an unwritten law, and what I did was wrong. It was against the law. It was wrong, but it's an unwritten law that in vendee relationships, that sometimes when you work with a durable medical equipment, sometimes they want to give you funds, and most times I didn't take them because I didn't trust them, and I knew it was wrong. But the person that I got this from was a close friend of mine, and he said, "Come on, Doc, take this money. It's for you. Buy your girls and offer something." So stupid me took the money, and he had a video on me.
Of you taking it?
Taking it, yeah.
Wow.
And he was working with the FBI.
The whole time, though?
No.
Okay.
Just he was gone for a while. Then he came back. And then he said, "Doc, got any patients in your wheelchair?" I thought, "Man, I got a bunch of patients." Okay, and I was trying to help his business. That's why I could have used any durable medical vendor that I wanted, but I liked him. He was a brother. Wanted to help him.
And so, how did you know? Was it like an immediate, like, boom, I'm arrested, or was it like, did they come talk to you first?
They came and talked to me, and had a picture of my son who was in med school, and said that if I don't admit to that one count that they showed me where the guy had, that they would immediately make some phone calls and make it where my son would have some problems.
This is the FBI.
Yes, this is the FBI agent.
He's telling you that he's gonna get your son kicked out of med school.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was separated from my wife at that time. He went and talked to her and told her that you need to turn on him because he's not right. I mean, they put out that I didn't think it could happen. They put out all the stops, just to make an example out of you. And basically what they wanted from me was to get in their little game and entrap somebody else, which I refused to do.
Right, so this would have like a whole bunch of people telling on each other.
Yeah, they even had plans. They were in my office say, "You can put a camera here, put a camera here. You have somebody come in and like a setup." I said, "No, I don't do that." And if I were to approach someone and do that, they would know that something's not right because that's not my nature. And they knew it too.
And then, okay, so do you still talk to the guy?
No, I was told by the U.S. attorney that if I ever went close to him, that they would file charges against me. I haven't seen him since.
And this is a person that I'm just trying to.
This guy ever come to my house?
You had a decent
TV.
relationship.
Oh yeah,
with
we
this
go
guy.
out and eat together.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
And you, like you said, you was trying to look out for his business.
Mm-hmm.
But you said that he was in some type of situation or some type of issue with the law also.
Yeah, evidently he was facing 3 years in federal prison.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out subsequently that after he did what he did to me, he was able to lower his time behind bars to 1 year for entrapping me.
All right, man. This is
but true enough, they do what they call a prosper, whatever they call it, and they told me, "Do you know this doctor? Do you know this doctor? Do you know this? Do you know this? Because we want to get them too." I said, "Yeah, but I don't know anything bad about them," and I told them I don't do that. I just take my lumps.
And that probably pissed them off.
Oh
also.
yeah, they did, because I played it. I played the initial game with them because I didn't want my son involved. But as far as anything else, no. Mm-mm.
And see, it's so many politics with everything, right? It's not just we think about the government. We only think about one aspect of the government, and that's like the president or whatever. But it's like everything has. You look at the NBA, and it's politics within the NBA and the medical industry, especially when it comes to like the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh.
Like when it comes to just astronomical numbers.
Yes.
That they're getting away with is mind blowing. The laws, the way that they're structuring the laws to where you can't even sue the pharmaceutical companies.
That is true.
Like how do you feel like being a part of that? It's almost like how some people look at cops and they say, how could you be a cop when you see what the cops are? You know what I mean? So how does it feel like being a part of an industry that you know so much foul stuff about?
Truth, I can tell you one thing right now. The medical industry is not out for people of color and or people with chronic diseases, because my thing is, if people didn't get sick, go to the hospital, use some medication, chronically ill, what would the doctors do? What would the hospitals do? What would the pharmacies do? What would all these people do? So it's like a circle that eats upon itself.
They feed each other.
Yeah, they do. But one thing that I do want to say is I've been diabetic for 20 years, and I was taught by some of the best endocrinologists in Michigan. Knew some in Dallas. They were top-notch endocrinologists as far as the treatment of diabetes. The way that diabetes is being treated among a lot of people is wrong. But the way that we were trained to treat diabetes is not helping people. We were taught that diabetes is a progressive chronic disease that you never get away from. You will always be a diabetic. It's progressive. You're going to keep it. I have learned with my research in the past 3 years that it's not. That type 2 diabetes, adult onset diabetes, is curable, reversible. Not to say that you don't already have the damage that you had prior to that point, but as far as you having a metabolic system which is causing you to cause vascular problems with your heart, your penis, your eyes, you can stop that in your heart. And the American Diabetic Association knows this, but they don't want to acknowledge it. They want to do the same old thing, eat 5-6 times a day, take insulin around the clock, don't check certain labs values which could tell you how your diabetes is progressing. A lot of people are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes that had it for 10 or 12 years, and they keep on going to the doctor, and the doctor check a test called a fasting glucose. It may be normal or low, or a hemoglobin A1C, which is another test. By definition, anything over 6.3, 6.4, you're diabetic. If it's that, they say, well, you're okay. You may have a touch of diabetes. You know, to me, diabetes is like pregnancy. Either you are or you ain't. And so you have all these people that have potentially curable issue that's not being recognized because the National Association don't want to do it.
Okay, so in layman's terms, if somebody, let's say if someone's a pre-diabetic, what are some of the things that they can do in their everyday?
Okay. The first thing this person should do is to limit their snacks. Don't eat around the clock, because every time you eat, you are going to send up your insulin, and insulin is a fat storage hormone which is going to make you have fat all over your stomach, goes everywhere, and you gain weight. The second thing that they shouldn't do is eat refined, processed foods. That is the worst thing to do to diabetic because these foods are so refined that as soon as it gets in your body, boom, it sends up your sugar and it causes problems to your organs. Those are the two things. And the third thing is to take a holistic view at your disease. You know, involve your mind, your body, your soul with spiritual appreciation to know that you have a problem and to deal with it. Get sleep, take care of your stress, exercise. Just because you have a disease doesn't mean the disease has you. And so those three things I think will make people a lot better as far as becoming pre-diabetes to prevent them from becoming a full-blown diabetic, taking insulin. Because once you start taking insulin, it's almost over.
Yesterday when we were outside talking, you said something about being on this journey and you knew you was supposed to take this journey because of something that God said to you. And you said you got a phone call, and he said, if I tell you what that phone call was,
Okay.
You would say I was crazy.
Okay.
I'm interested in what the phone call was, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Okay. August the 22nd, 2022, I had an altercation with my stepson, which was pretty violent. And at that time, I left home. I started staying with a relative. And I couldn't believe this kid I've known his whole life. And I felt that, why this happened, I was in pain because, his mother didn't intervene. And it was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And so I just wanted someone to talk to. I called suicide prevention. Not that I was suicidal, true. I just wanted someone to talk to. And so they said, you're gonna kill yourself? I said, no, I just want someone to talk to, knowing, I'm in so much pain, what to do. So they said, we'll have somebody call you. So about 2:30 in the morning, August 22nd, 2022, I get a phone call. I answered it, and this guy says, I got a message to call you and see what's going on. He had a nice, soothing voice. And he was like, okay, what happened? I kind of told him what happened. He said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I just want to live and let live. He said, okay, well, he said, you have some decisions to make. He said, you're not an old man. You said you had been a practicing physician and you're in bad health now. Why don't you do something about it? I said, yeah, I have a son. He wants me to go and practice. He said, go back to work. Go back to work. I said, that's the first thing he told me. Then the second thing he said, regain your health back. Because on the day that happened, I was on oxygen. I was on oxygen around the clock. I was taking breathing treatments every 6 hours, every 4 hours because of my wheezing was so bad. And I could not walk no more than maybe 20 feet, like in short of breath. I couldn't even pack my things when I left. I was in that bad shape. So he said, get your health back. You still can do that. And the third thing he told me was, not all relationships are good relationships. You need to discern your relationships. I said, what does that mean? He said, well, do you want to go back in that situation? What do you want to do? I said, I don't know. He said, you need to think about it. And so he said, as long as you're not going to harm yourself, it's all good. I said, no, I'm not. I just wanted someone to talk to. And so I hung up, went to sleep. So 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock the next morning, I looked at my phone because, black folks, we don't go to therapists. But I like that guy. Nice, down to earth. I wanted his number to call him. I looked on my phone, there was no phone call. No one called me. So I said, okay, let me call Metro PCS and see what this is about. So I called Metro PCS and said, someone called me between 2:30 to 2:40 this morning. Could you tell me who it was? I like to call him, make arrangements to, do a visit with him because he helped me out. So they said, okay, nobody called you? I said, no, someone called me. They put me on hold for like 3 or 4 minutes. Then the supervisor came back and said, sir, no one called you at this time. So here I am, knowing I had talked, just like I'm talking to you, I had talked to someone on the phone that told me those 3 things to do. And so at that time, it's when I made up my mind to lose my weight, which I've lost 140 pounds, to get my health back, which I'm hardly taking any medicine now. And like I said, I'm getting ready to run in a track meet. That's how healthy I am. And 3, I want to get my medical license back, but I thought about it, that I could help more people with this weight loss thing, because obesity in the Black community is an epidemic, especially among our women. And so I developed a holistic weight loss program, which I did, which helped me lose my weight, and I want to try to get it to help other people. That's a nonprofit or whatever. So that phone call on August the 22nd, 2022, it'll be 2 years in coming up, changed my life.
So I got a question. A lot of times people want to lose weight, or they want to just change something in particular about themselves, and it's the consistency, it's the commitment, the discipline to change your lifestyle every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you slip, and then that slip makes you fall all the way back. What can you give advice to somebody that's on this weight loss journey that maybe they don't see the weight loss at first, or that they're looking for outside affirmations from other people to tell them, like, what advice would you give that person to just keep going?
Okay. The first thing you have to do is, what is your number 1 reason why you want to lose weight? Is it because you want your health back? Is it because you want to look sexy in a bikini? Is it you want to have better sex? What is that number 1 reason? You need to write it down, record it, and whenever you don't feel like things are going your way, you look at your number 1 reason and determine, are you going to do it or not? You have to have that 1 reason that's going to make you your why reason. And then, and as a corollary to that, the second thing is you have to figure out for yourself, how did you get in this position? Are you overweight because of emotional issues or snacking issues? Is it you have triggers that make you eat? You're not exercising? You have to figure that out for yourself. But number 1 is you have to have that number 1 why reason. And my number 1 why reason, I have it written right here. You see, can you show number 5? Those are the five rules that I go by. My why reason is, I thank God every day for a second chance. And to me, like I said, this is a war. I'm fighting for my life. And what keeps me going is, I thank God every day for a second chance. So when I get up in the morning, I get on what I call my PMD chair. To you, you might call it a exercise bike. I call it my PMD chair. That's my faith. I get on there, I pray, I meditate, and I give gratitude. All at the same time while I'm probably doing about 15, 20 minutes bicycling on that exercise bike. But when I hit the floor, I thank God for a second chance, and I pray, I meditate, I give gratitude for just little things.
Does that spiritual connection helps with the commitment part to the weight loss journey?
That's part of it. That's part of the holistic. Yes, sir. That's one of the cornerstones. The holistic weight loss, to me, by definition, it may be a definition by someone else, is involvement, mind, body, soul, with spiritual awareness. It's not just one thing. It's your whole being. And to me, it's a spiritual, because once I started doing that, I was able to break the break the cravings that I had. I was connected to fast food, sugar, moon pies, honey buns, chocolate milk, you name it, bad carbs, I was eating it. But once I started praying and meditating and giving gratitude, I don't get pleasure out of eating those type of foods anymore. I don't no pleasure at all. And I was able to break that mind. I had that mind-body connection, and able to break it through my spirituality.
And this is so interesting just hearing you say that, because I think that might be the disconnect with most people in their weight loss journey is the spiritual side to it. That's the giving up part of it. And you just saying it just now just kind of gave me that realization. Is like the moments where I have the most issues with my weight is when I'm the most disconnected with myself spiritually. And
Yes.
that's very interesting. Like, and then what made you even get interested in a holistic route? Were you always going the holistic route?
By training, I'm a medical doctor, but I was a DO, osteopathic doctor, and we were trained on treating the whole body. That's the concept. Osteopathic medicine, DO, is holistic medicine. And so I've always been like that since I graduated from med school. Even though I trained at an MD hospital, I did surgery, I prescribed every drug at MD, I worked with MD. They thought I was an MD. I was really a holistic a DO. And that's what we're training. So when it came to trying to develop a program, 90% of everyone that loses their weight will gain it back within 2 years. 90%.
What's the reason behind that? What's the science?
Normally, the science is normally a change in the basal metabolic rate, a change in the body set point. I'll give you a good, for instance, your doctor tells you, cut back on 500 calories a day. If you go for 7 days, 3,500 calories, you're gonna lose a pound a week. But what that doctor failed to realize is that when you cut back on your caloric restriction, them 500 calories, your body has a way of shutting down, not burning 500 calories worth of metabolic rate. So you may go down to 1,000 calories a day, so your body only is gonna burn 1,000. So you're still at the same level. You don't have that 500 calorie deficit because your body will adapt and change. You go through stalls and plateaus. That's why with my holistic journey, I learned to beat that. I learned to change my set point. Like Oprah Winfrey, Oprah would always gain her weight back. She'd lose the weight, she'd gain it, lose it, gain it. Oprah has a set point of probably about 160, 170 pounds. She loses weight, she gonna go back up to 170, maybe 200, because that's her normal set point. And with me, my normal set point was probably about 260, 240. I was always 240. But by going through this holistic journey, I think I lowered my set point from 260 to probably maybe 190, 195. No matter what I do, no matter what I eat, I can't gain weight now.
Was it something you purposely did?
It just happened.
Or it just happened. Reset on its own?
It reset on its own, because doctors would tell you, if you Google it, read about it, your body set weight point, you can't change it. But I was able to change mine, but it's through a holistic process. Now, if I go out and eat 20 cinnamon rolls a day and do this, do that, of course, I'm gonna gain weight.
Right, yeah.
But my lifestyle is not conducive to me having a set point that high. I would never be that heavy again. I would never be above 250, 260.
And it's because you're committed to the lifestyle.
Yeah, and like you say, I changed my internal set point.
And what's your take on fasting?
Oh, the Hindus do it, the Muslims do it, the Catholics do it. I love fasting, and that's what I did. That's part of my program.
What would you suggest for people that struggle with like the first day? A lot of people, once they can get past the first day, it kind of gets easier for them. People that can't get past their first day.
Hey, never attempt to do a long fast on the first day. Eliminate your snack. Okay, eliminate your snacks. Try to not eat a late morning snack, afternoon snack. You eat that one. You break your fast, which means you eat your first meal 11, 12 like that morning. And when you do eat that meal, make sure it's a highly satiating food, something that will not like refined carbs and sugars that you're gonna make you eat like pancakes and waffles. No, eat something with fiber, good fats, good proteins that will fill you up where you won't get hungry again. And as far as the fasting, one thing that I've learned is when I first started going 18 hours without eating, it was tough. But once I got past the 18-hour mark, it was like, I'm not even hungry anymore. Because what happens is, the scientific basis is, your body makes a hormone called ghrelin, leptin, and they're the one that control what you eat when you want to eat and your triggers. You control your hormones, let them control you. And naturally, people have these triggers where they get up in the morning, they have to eat. Even though they're not hungry, they think they have to eat. But once you start fasting more and more, you get used to it. And I had got to the point that I would go 72 hours without a meal, 3 days. But what I would...
fluids or?
No, fluids, no. I do fluids, drink water, green tea, and I made a special chicken feet bone broth. It has collagen in it, minerals, micronutrients in it, and I would drink that. But while I'm doing my fasting, my body is going through a process called autophagy. Basically, autophagy is where your body is cleaning out this bad cells in the body. And I noticed that once I started fasting, my skin cleared up, my joint pain went away. It was like the bad parts of my being were just eliminated. I call it the fountain of youth. That's what I call autophagy. And once you go 18 hours without eating, your body is in an autophagy state.
So what's a good starter fast for someone that just...
It's different for each person. It's different. Mm-hmm. You know, like I said, go a week, quit eating snacks. Then all of a sudden, you eliminate your snack. When you eat, don't look. Even if you eat a snack, you do 2 meals a day. Meal number 1 and meal number 2. And have these meals within what I call a time-restricted window. When I first started, my window of eating was like between 12 and 6. I had a 6-hour window. And during that time, I had 2 meals. And the meals that I ate were, like I said, good protein, fat, good carbs, and fiber. And my body just got used to it. Then I started going 24, 36 hours without eating. And I had no issue. Matter of fact, I would go work out in the fastest state. And I noticed that my mind was sharper, able to calculate, and do exercise without eating when I'm fasting. And so the longest I've gone is 72 hours. But I drink water, green tea, and I make a special bone broth. And by doing that, my body is not secreting any insulin. No insulin is going to my body's resting. My stomach, my microbiome, all the bacteria in my stomach is resting. My body is just recuperating. And I'm burning fat. I'm burning pure fat. No sugar, no carbs, just pure fat.
And how far into your journey were you able to get the oxygen off of you?
I would say probably after a month, I didn't have the need for any oxygen because I was starting to walk every day.
Just simply walking every day.
Walking every day.
Got you off of the oxygen machine.
Yes, walking every day. I build up my resistance and tolerance. At first, I could probably go maybe 200 steps. Okay, next day 250. I generally increased it to the point I looked at my phone. It said 2,200 steps, which is a mile. I looked up. I couldn't believe it. I said, I walked a mile. I can't believe it. I started saying, thank you, Jesus. People thought I was having a seizure. They saw me doing this, and because if someone would have told me, I said, no way. At 6 I was. The day that I left, mind you, I was on oxygen, and I couldn't carry my own bag to the car. And within 3 or 4 weeks, I'm walking a mile by myself.
That's a story. Wow. And how does that build your morale? Like going
the self-esteem, everything is sky high. I mean, I was, like I said, going through that, domestic stuff with, it'll tear you up, but being able to rejuvenate my health, rejuvenated my spirit. And like I said, if I can help anyone achieve what I did, it'll be well worth it. Because like I said, I'm a new person now. Matter of fact, as you can see on this shirt, this was me. Can you see it, True? Mm-hmm. This was me on at that time. And this is me now. This is my before, that's after. And I wear this shirt to remind me how far I've come and to never go back.
And is there any, before we get out of here, is there anything specific, any specific point that you want to drive home in this interview for people that's watching? Okay,
basically, and when it comes to your health, take care of your health. Don't trust anyone. Don't trust anyone with information. Find out for yourself. You are your best advocate. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. If you want to attain better health, you do that for yourself. You have the reason. And find the best way, which is for you.
Okay, and how would someone find out? Is it just like kind of like I try something, see if it works, and then move on?
Try it.
Just keep trying things.
Yeah. But as far as specific to weight loss, on my Facebook page, it's Doctor Harold Wagner. I do give a lot of tips about holistic weight loss and things that can help you along your journey. Because, like I said, I've reiterated, I've been to law school, been to medical school, I'm double boarded in 2 specialties. The hardest thing I've ever done was lose weight, by far, because I could never get to a certain point, it would always come back. Get to a certain point, it would come back. And this is the first time in my adult life I've been able to have this type of health.
And you think that you got the recipe to help other people?
Oh, I can help other people. I would love to help other people because the obesity epidemic is killing Black folks. 30 years ago, there was no epidemic in fatty livers. Now half of America got fatty livers. 30 years ago, there was no epidemic in diabetes. Now half of America is pre-diabetes or diabetes. 30 years ago, there was no epidemic in obesity. Now, 80% of all Black women are considered overweight with a BMI of 27, and the general population is over 50% overweight.
So it sounds like more than anything, we need to change as a culture.
Oh, definitely.
As far as our diet, because some stuff is passed down.
Definitely. But one of the problems is the medical societies. They're not conducive to making changes that'll help people lose weight because weight loss is $1 billion business. Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, these skinny shots. these programs, the hypnosis. This is a billion-dollar business. Why bite the hand that feeds you when what I offer people is cheap? I mean, when you fast, you get up in the morning, you don't think about eating food. You do something else. You know, it's not on, those are less decisions you have to make. I know I'm gonna eat something today and it's gonna be healthy, protein, fiber, but I'm not gonna go to a restaurant and spend $50 on a meal that's gonna kill me. To me, fasting, time restricted eating, which is something that the religion's been doing for years, as far as their minds. I think it's that we all should be doing it. Give your body a break. You don't have to eat 5-6 times a day. I mean, look at a movie. Look at a movie from the 40s and 50s. You don't see overweight people. You don't see, not whatsoever. Look at movies made in the 90s, in the 2000s. Every other person is overweight. Go to a beach. We look at a beach scene from the 50s. No one's overweight. You can't go to the beach today, but I don't want to say anything unruly, but yeah, this obesity epidemic it's not good.
I appreciate you taking the time out to give us this information. If you ever want to just go deeper into like just the practices of the medical world, even deeper, one day we can come back and do it again.
Sure.
But for this one, I think we got a lot of good information, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to give
Like I said, we're here for each other, and if I wouldn't have gone through what I've gone through, I wouldn't know what I know. But I had to do the research to find out for myself what worked. And I think what worked for me could work for a lot of people, especially when it comes to chronic diseases.